A lesson in leadership. Today we take a look at the leadership of the infamous founding FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover, a man who shaped the FBI into what it is today, who had dirt on everyone from civil rights leaders all the way to presidents of the United States. Let's dive deep into how this man was able to maintain power for decades, and some say was more powerful than the President of the United States. Full name: John Edgar Hoover, 1895-1972. Position: Founding Director of the FBI, 1924-1972. Context: took control of the Bureau of Investigation during a period of disorganization and corruption, transforming it into the modern FBI. Era: served under 8 U.S. presidents, from Calvin Coolidge to Richard Nixon. Leadership style: authoritarian, centralized. Hoover ran the FBI with absolute authority, brooking little dissent. Bureaucratic genius. He built rigid structures, standardized procedures, and instilled an almost military discipline. Cult of personality. He cultivated an image of himself as incorruptible, patriotic, and indispensable. Paranoid controlling. He used surveillance, secret files, and blackmail tactics to neutralize both political enemies and allies. Public relations mastery. He carefully shaped the FBI's reputation through the press, radio, and Hollywood films, making the Bureau synonymous with integrity and effectiveness. Strengths: organizational builder. Transformed a weak agency into one of the most powerful law enforcement bodies in the world. Image control. Mastered propaganda, ensuring the FBI appeared untouchable and heroic in the public eye. Longevity stability. Outlasted presidents, cabinets, and political shifts. Fear as a weapon. His secret files on politicians, celebrities, and activists made him untouchable. Administrative precision. Introduced modern forensic science, fingerprint databases, and professional training at Quantico. Weaknesses: paranoia. Saw enemies everywhere, often exaggerated threats. For example, obsession with communism and civil rights leaders. Abuse of power. Illegally spied on political figures, civil rights leaders, Martin Luther King Jr. in particular, and dissenters. Resistance to change. Refused to modernize in later years, for example, resisted focus on organized crime and later drug cartels. Personal secrecy. His own life, rumored sexuality, alleged corruption, was guarded so closely it bred mistrust and speculation. Fear-based leadership. Inspired loyalty through intimidation rather than genuine respect. Laws: he mastered Law 3, conceal your intentions. Hoover never revealed his full hand. His enemies rarely knew the extent of his files. Law 6, court attention at all costs. He kept the FBI and himself in the spotlight via media and staged events. Law 15, crush your enemy, totally use surveillance and harassment to destroy perceived threats, for example, MLK radicals. Law 17, keep others in suspended terror. His reputation for having dirt on everyone kept presidents and senators in line. Law 18, do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Instead, he built networks, allies, and media presence. Law 27, play on people's need to believe. Cast himself and the FBI as saviors of America from crime and communism. Law 48, assume formlessness. Adapted tactics depending on the threat, never allowing one predictable strategy. Laws: he broke Law 1, never outshine the master. At times, Hoover became more feared and powerful than presidents, which bred resentment. Law 28, enter action with boldness. He was cautious to the point of paralysis later in his career, avoiding fights with organized crime for decades. Law 35, master the art of timing. Toward the end, he clung to power past his prime, refusing to retire, which diminished his image. Law 45, preach the need for change, but never reform too much. His refusal to adapt to new law enforcement priorities weakened the FBI after his death. How he maintained power for so long. Secret files. Maintained dossiers on politicians, presidents, activists, and celebrities, effectively blackmailing them. Fear intimidation. Few dared to challenge him directly, fearing exposure. Political flexibility. He adapted to each new president, always presenting himself as indispensable to national security, public image. Through films, radio, and press, he made the FBI synonymous with American values, making him difficult to remove without backlash. Loyal inner circle. Cultivated absolute loyalty within the FBI, ensuring no one below him threatened his authority. Longevity institutional memory. Outlasted his rivals and became too entrenched to replace. J. Edgar Hoover was a ruthless bureaucratic empire builder who mastered secrecy, fear, and image control to maintain power. His strengths in organization, propaganda, and intimidation allowed him to dominate for nearly 50 years. However, his paranoia, abuse of power, and refusal to adapt weakened his legacy.